talked about me much. I am an oboist. When I started college, okay, so I had a history of soft tissue pain. This will never happen because I had a neck injury, neck surgery. I've never quite been the same. So I'm very prone to soft tissue pain. This is how I came to the technique. I started to get tendonitis in high school. For whatever reason, I was playing Barry sax in marching band. I don't know whose idea that was, but it didn't work out. So I started to get tendonitis from that. And I stopped doing that and just played the oboe, but it never quite went away. And I went to a doctor, this is in the 90s, we've come a long way since then as far as soft tissue injuries, but I saw a doctor at the time who said, I was a junior in high school, I knew I wanted to major in oboe, and he said, oh, you need to quit the oboe, that'll solve that problem. Next. So that didn't help, so he sent me to physical therapy, but I didn't quite get anything out of it. So I went off to college just having a couple of little problems that I could manage. And of course, once you get to college, you're a music major, all of a sudden you're practicing 2 to 3 times as much as you ever were in high school. Well, that was the case for me. So the tendonitis got worse really quickly, actually. And I was in college for 4 semesters. The first semester, I was okay enough to make it all the way to juries, but it was pretty painful. After that, each subsequent semester, I would try to start playing, and by the end, I couldn't play anymore. And for whatever reason, my teacher just kept giving me A's, even though I didn't do my jury, which was really nice of her, so I passed. But for me, I had pain in my hands, fingers, wrists, my forearms, my elbows, all the way to my shoulders, bursitis, back and neck pain. So I'm a little bit of a disaster. And it wasn't just the oboe. As I said, at the end of every semester, I wasn't even playing. By my 4th semester, I quit the oboe completely. This thing is not working out for me. And I actually, turns out I couldn't even take notes in class. I couldn't turn a doorknob. It took 2 hands to turn a doorknob. So I eventually thought, I can't even go to school anymore, I can't take notes. So I went to school at University of Illinois in Urbana-Champaign, and there happened to be an Alexander Technic training course there. And so, it's a 3-year program, as I said. In your 3rd year of training, you can take practice students, and then you don't charge anything. So everyone at that university was like finding these 3rd year teachers and taking free lessons. It was fantastic. So I've been going to physical therapy twice a week for months, and it actually didn't do anything for me. They were doing these ultrasound things and taking my back so I was straight and trigger point massage, and it just did nothing for me. And the Alexander Technique, my teacher Karen, I had no clue what she was talking about. These concepts were just beyond me at the time. I had no clue what she was talking about. I didn't know what I was even doing in the lesson. All I knew was when I left, I felt better. Not pain-free, but I found some relief, and I saw like a way to get out of the predicament I was in. So I dropped out of college, and I joined a training course in town. And I didn't play the oboe for over 2 years. Just couldn't do it. And a lot of issues, like I said, I had a neck injury, so a lot of things just stemmed from that. And I worked through a lot of things. So when I came back to the oboe, my very first lesson with the oboe, I took it to my Alexander teacher, not to my oboe teacher, and pretty much built everything up from the fundamentals back to playing again. And it was amazing how, after all this training, learning how to use my body, learning how everything works, learning how learning and habit changing works, the minute I got that oboe in my hand, all my habits from 2 years ago were still there, all those bad habits. And they just were sitting there, waiting to attack again. And it was tough to change those habits. So that was really interesting, and it's been quite a learning experience. I had to get out of Urbana. I'm from Seattle originally, so Seattle to Urbana was not ideal for me, and just all that negativity. So I went to Arizona State to finish my bachelor's, and becoming a music major then was difficult. But, so I had to practice, and every couple months I'd have a flare again, I'd have to take a week or 2 off. My teacher was very patient, but it was quite a process of change. By the end of my degree, it took 3 years to finish, 8 years total, but 3 years after I transferred, I was practicing 5 hours a day, in addition to ensembles, and I actually gave 2 recitals in 1 semester. So all of this was through the Alexander Technique, and much of it is just that philosophy, the concepts of how you can change habits, how you can become aware of what you're doing. So that's just my story, how I came to the technique, and really the basis of how I